All right, it's the final week of NFL games in London, shifting to the iconic Wembley Stadium. Jags, they played 11 of their 14 international games from this stadium. Rams 5-1 all-time against the Jags. Here we are, mid-first quarter, no score. Second and goal on the Jags 5. Matt Stafford finds Kanate Mumfield ran.
Young fella, a rookie, getting his first touchdown and celebrates with the Sioux.
It's been a while since we've seen that. Next Rams possession, still up 7-0. First and goal on the second. Davante Adams feet.
We've seen this before.
Yeah.
Davante Adams getting his feet down in the end zone on a great catch.
Here we are, second late quarter. Rams still 14-0. Second and goal on the 1. What do you think is happening here with this flag, Ran?
Well, this was the story of the day. Just a ton of penalties, PIs all day long. And this is what ultimately set the Jacksonville Jaguars back today.
All right, so here's an ensuing Jags drive, going for it on 4th and 7 on the Rams 11. Trevor Lawrence scrambling there, Pete.
Yeah. And by the way, it's okay to kick field goals when it's 4th and 7 in the NFL, in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one. All right, early in the fourth quarter, Rams still lead 21-0. Going for it on 4th and 1 on the Jags 31. Stafford working the play action ran.
Another rookie, take him up top, the young fella Ferguson. Sean McVay loves him a tight end, and if you look at this offense and the way they ran, it flowed through the tight end today without Puka Nacua.
Yeah, here's an ensuing Jags drive on the Rams 34. Lawrence going deep to Travis Hunter.
There's a Travis Hunter sighting. He actually had a good day, and he's starting to come along as a wide receiver. They have to get him to football.
They have to get him to football. It was exciting. All right, ensuing Rams drive here. First and goal on the 1. And guess who ran?
Head top. That's what the kids call it these days. We used to call it moss. Now they call it head top. Davante Adams for his 3rd touchdown of the day.
Yeah, doing what he does best. Matthew Stafford, most passing touchdowns in an international game all time with 5. It was the Rams' largest win since 2022. 35-0. You look at Matt Stafford there, 21 of 33, 182 yards and 5 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, 23 of 48, 296 and 18 rushing yards there. All right, let's welcome in the guys. We got Rand Carthon with us and Pete Prisco. No Damian Harris today. I believe he's at the pumpkin patch with his kids, so good on you for that one. I got to start with you, Pete, because you're our Jacksonville guy. Are the Jags frauds?
Well, I don't know if they're frauds, but they're not as good as they were 2 weeks ago when they beat the Chiefs. That much we know. And we know everything changes in this league. What they are is a sloppy football team right now. They drop passes. They're inaccurate with the throws on the quarterback. They have so many penalties, pre-snap penalties on offense, pass interference, holding in the secondary. And you can't win consistently in this league against good teams playing that way. They have to clean it up. I mean, look, this is a big, Brian Thomas went into the season, guys like myself thought he was going to be a superstar. Yeah. And for whatever reason, he can't catch. He's slow off the ball. He's not running full out in his routes. Something's going on with him. They can't figure it out. They don't know what's going on. And so unless he starts picking it up, the passing game is limited, which is why Travis Hunter has to play more offense than he does defense.
And Rand, I think one of the biggest criticisms that we've heard about this Jags team is that the offense has been lacking and the defense has really been bailing them out. That was kind of on full display here, although the defense didn't do too much to stop Matt Stafford. Yeah,
the defense got off to a very slow start today. As we saw, it was, 21-0 at the half. But then when things settled in, the defense really stepped up. They kept the Rams out of the end zone for the most part, but they kept giving their offense an opportunity with the ball. But it was like every time the Jags offense got to a certain point on the field, they couldn't get in the end zone, whether that was finishing on 3rd down or even a bunch of missed opportunities on 4th down. And like Pete said, I think the young fella missed the field goal, and I felt like they lost all confidence in him in terms of kicking.
He's missed a bunch of them in the last couple weeks.
And so from that standpoint, and maybe this is something we talk about later on in the show,
getting a new kicker.
Getting a new kicker.
I mean, he made the 70-yarder in
and it was cute.
And everybody said, "Oh, it's great, but you got to make your kicks. Those are makeable kicks. You got to make them."
Well, the 49ers did it with Jake Moody, and they've been having a much better time with Eddie P over there. Rand, let's talk about this Rams team. Obviously, you're very familiar with the NFC West. Is this a real threat in that division?
Yes, because of where the division is right now. I think Seattle is still trying to figure their way out, and I think they are a good football team, but there's still things there that needs to be settled. I don't think Arizona's quite ready, and then the 49ers are just banged up, and it's kind of, you hold your breath every time someone's on the ground for the Niners at this point. And so the Rams have been the most consistent team in the West, but something we talked about before we came on air was learning how to win. And I think that's where the Jags are right now. They are a good football team. They just don't know how to win, and this Rams team has a ton of winners that have won in other places and have won in LA, so they know how to win at this point.
The other thing about the Jaguars is when you take the ball away on defense, it kind of masks your problems a little bit. And really, I mean, they did that in the first, couple games of the season, first 4 games of the season, but when you don't take it away, your problems show up. And they don't rush the passer that well. Trayvon Walker's playing with a club on his hand, and he's having problems rushing the passer. And so that shows up, too. And by the way, they got schemed pretty well today. The Rams do a great – Sean McVay does a great job of getting, like you say, getting all those tight ends involved and getting him outside the pocket and creating problems. When you're an over-aggressive defense, they can work it against you. So I think that's what we saw today against Jackson.
Well, they don't call him the boy wonder for nothing.
Great coach.
I'm not sure he's quite a boy anymore. Someone else who's not quite a boy anymore is Matt Stafford. But as we saw in those highlights, 5 passing touchdowns in this game, the most of any international game so far. 3 of those went to Davante Adams, but we did see them spread the ball quite a bit. No Puka, no problem, Pete.
And spread the football. I think it was 11 different guys caught passes. I mean, that tells you that they schemed it up well. And look, two rookies caught touchdown passes. They got the ball to the tight ends, and then, of course, when you got near the red zone, you hit Adams for the touchdown. So it was a great game plan, and one that you would expect from Sean McVay. At times, I sat there, I'm wondering, you're up 21-0, why aren't you running the ball? Because they didn't run the ball very well. And that's something they got to get to. When you get a lead, it's okay to run the football. But they knew Jacksonville was limited offensively. Jacksonville couldn't get anything going offensively for most of that game.
Has it been fun, Rand, to watch the resurgence of Davante Adams? Obviously, we know what he was able to do in Green Bay. It didn't really work out that well for him with the Jets. 3 touchdowns in this game. Yeah,
it's the difference in having a good quarterback, an accurate quarterback that understands. Let me stop. All the great point guards in the NBA, the Jason Kidds, the Andre Millers, they ask their shooters, where do you want the football or the basketball? You tell me where you want it, I'll get it to you in that spot so you can go score. And Davante Adams is a guy with his elite tracking skills. All Matthew Stafford has to do is put it in a place where he knows he can go get it, and then we see 3 touchdown type games.
It's funny how this league changed. 2 weeks ago, Jacksonville beats the Chiefs on Monday night. They're the #1 seed. Everybody's talking about, they might be the surprise of the league. Yeah. And the Rams were coming off a loss to the 49ers at home in Mac Jones. And now all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, the Rams are back and the Jaguars are going in the opposite direction, just like that.
You know what they say, any given Sunday. One more thing, and finally, Travis Hunter, there was a big emphasis before this game to get him more involved as a receiver in the passing game. Obviously, the score doesn't reflect it, but were you happy to see how he was involved today, Pete?
And here's the thing with him. He only knows one position on the offense, so it's hard to move him around. It's been tough for him, or at least early in the season he did. Now I think he's getting more acclimated to the offense. So, yes, but the problem is they need him on offense. He should be playing corner, but they need him on offense because Brian Thomas hasn't stepped up, and they're still looking. By the way, I hear they're still looking for another wide receiver out there if there's one available on the market. But they need him on offense more than they need him on defense, which tells you something because he's a better corner than he is wide receiver.
Yeah, and then if my memory is serving me correct, because the game just ended, I believe all 8 of his catches were in the second half.
Yeah.
And Brian Thomas Jr. was in and out of the lineup, banged up shoulder. I think it was a knee at one point.
Dropping passes all over the place.
So he was in and out of the lineup. So regardless of whether Travis only knows one position or not, you put him in that position and you find ways to get that guy the ball in space and allow him to do what we know him to do. And 8 catches, 101 yards, his first NFL touchdown, and he had a big pass breakup covering Davante Adams down the sideline. So that's kind of some of that duality that we've grown to know Travis to be.
He's been really good as a corner when he's been on the field. I mean, 2 weeks ago against Kansas City, he was great against Worthy in matchups. Last week, the bottom line is he's a really good corner, but they need him on offense.
You know, it's interesting because they said, well, one, I agree with what you're saying, but they said that the Rams, they were worried about them having the jet lag because they just got into London yesterday. Maybe too many bangers and mash for the Jags there. Pete, one more thing. Scale from 1 to 10. How worried are you about Jacksonville?
5.
5.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle. Look, if you would have told them before the season you'd be 4-3 coming out of going into your bye week, they would have said, okay, check, we'll take it. But the way they got there, going in with 2 losses, never a good thing.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree. It's like Pete said, it's week to week. It's the National Football League. You got some of the elite athletes on this planet. It's gonna be variances in play, but not worried.
Ebbs and flow, but right there in the middle at 5. Thanks so much to Pete Prisco and Rand Carthen. You can catch both of them tonight on the recap show starting at 8:30 Eastern, hosted by our Haley Sutton. Is Damian coming to this one? Is he coming back from the pumpkin patch? Or?
No, he's pumpkin patch.
Oh, we've got Danny Cannell.